We are Group 2 from English 11, A3. I am Micaela Angela Duramas.
I am Kala Isabel Capuli. I'm Larsa Nicole Castillo.
And I'm Hazelin Duran.
We're going to interview today is Mr. John Christian Gaspar. He is a freshman here in Mapua Institute of Technology taking up electronics engineer.
We all know, as Mapuans, we are used to the idea of multitasking. Multitasking is a process wherein a person does two tasks at the same time. We are here to conduct this interview to prove our claim, and which is
So our claim here is multitasking degrades academic performance. Are there anything else that you want to clarify before we start?
None of them.
It is, do you multitask in school?
Yes, of course.
How often do you multitask?
Especially during the quiz weeks and the weeks.
Do you believe that multitasking is productive?
In my experience, I think that it's not really productive as it's hard focusing on two subjects at one time.
It is said that multitasking is a result of uninterrupted work. Are you easily interrupted?
Yes.
What are the common interruptions have you experienced?
Most commonly, social media, friends, and games. Most of the time.
When you are interrupted when doing multitasking or any work, do you feel anything that is unpleasant in your emotions like stress, frustration?
I feel stressed and there's always regret.
So you said that you feel stressed. What do you think are the reasons why you get stressed?
Maybe it's because I do not meet the deadline of the prof or I'm cramming too much and I'm doing it right before the deadline.
So do you have experience regarding that?
Yes, lots of experience, especially last term.
I think this
Can you give us your experience?
For example, in my draw subject, my prof is Sir Lanusa and every week we have a research work and I always do it Thursday night, right? And my class is Friday.
So, so do you feel, so do you accomplish your work when you get stressed or?
Yes, most of the time I accomplish it, but after I feel really exhausted, then in the class I always feel sleepy.
in connection to what she said about accomplishing your work. We all know that time is of the essence. And do you manage your time well?
Not really that good.
Do you think the lack of time is a major factor in why the low grades of your projects appear on the finals?
I don't think it's the lack of time, but it's how I manage the time. Especially sometimes I prioritize my friends over my schoolworks.
Can you tell us an experience about that particular topic?
Another example from last term. In my advanced subject, it's the long quiz one, and it's a Friday night, so we feel happy and we played all night. And the next day in the quiz, I'm not able to answer very well as I haven't reviewed.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier social media. How often do you multitask? How often do you update your social media account while you are studying?
I always check it while I'm studying, and I can't take my eyes from
So,
it.
do you get easily interrupted when you hear alerts from your phone?
Yes, that's right. Because sometimes I'm expecting that it's my friend that they are inviting me to play and it's like that.
So, do you divert your attention right away when you hear alerts from your phone?
It depends on the situation, especially if it's serious or there's a quiz the next day. And I always I always think twice before accepting the invitation of my friends.
Did you get mistakes because of media multitasking?
Yes, of course.
Can you share with us those mistakes, experiences?
Maybe from my chem lab last term. It's Sunday and I forgot to do my research in my pre-lab and because of that social media.
Do you agree that the time used for studying are often used to update social media accounts?
I think yes, because I've observed it during when I'm reviewing and my phone is with me for the music and sometimes there are notifications that I can't resist and because of that I stray away from reviewing and view my social media account instead.
Do you agree that multitasking hinders a student from learning?
Yes, maybe from the other example I've said, when reviewing, it's a distraction sometimes to me, and sometimes I can't seem to make a solution for it.
Students who perform poor in school tend to get easily distracted because they are less motivated. What can you say to this matter?
I think because they are not focusing on their subjects and they are not really motivated to study anymore. And also the distractions like social media plays a role.
What are the reasons do you think that stops the student from preventing themselves to be distracted?
Because it's in our generation that it's our desire to use the social media for our entertainment and yes, for our news.
Do you think that distraction of social media affects the quality of work?
Yes, of course. During an example is when I'm doing my research work last term in my dual subject. Using social media along with it, it hinders my capability to write legibly in engineering letter. And because of that, my grades aren't that really good.
In regards to what she said, it affects the quality of your work. So, does the outcome seem impressive or
Not very, especially because throughout the student who grades the research in the content and in how legibly you have written it in engineering letter.
I have read once in a magazine called Prevention India, which is published last 2011. The article was written by Medina, and he says that the researchers discovered that brain is less productive when doing two complex tasks at once. Do you believe in that?
Yes.
So can you please share us your experience regarding that?
When I'm doing my assignments, I only do one at a time because doing two assignments side by side, it seems hard for me to focus on doing the two assignments.
Just to recall, you have said earlier that you don't believe that multitasking is productive and you are easily interrupted by social media and your friends. And most of the time, you can't say no to your friends, especially when they ask you to play with them.
In addition to what we said, the downside of multitasking results to unimpressive outputs. You can make mistakes when you're multitasking due to the so-called context switching, and it can result to stress also.
So going back to our claim, which is multitasking degrades academic performance. Do you believe in that statement?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think that multitasking it's a skill to be learned and not all students are able to do this. Like me, I prefer doing one task at a time because multitasking for me is too tedious and it results in work that's not really that.
Are there anything else that you want to clarify?
We would like you to know that the answers you have given us are confidential and will only be used for academic purposes. And thank you for your time and thanks for answering each and every question.
Thank you.
Thank you.